Hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to TMI. Welcome back to the news. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an absolutely incredible day. Do not forget to leave a like on the video. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Very big thank you to everyone out there who supports in their own way every single day. And yeah, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We are constantly tethered in some sort of way to weird news, interesting news, global events, economic, money, some kind of an event that's taking place around the world. The cryptocurrency market is constantly at the behest of all these things that are going on. If world markets sway, we apparently have to sway with them. If things are looking bad, things look not so great for crypto. And if things are looking great, they look absolutely amazing for our market as well. Growth continues in nearly all directions. We have a very interesting market in general, not just this year, but all years, in that we are, in essence, gifted, if you will, with a constant supply of good news, expansion. Years ago, we had to worry if we were going to have news about Bitcoin being banned, or if this country was going to allow this, or if this was a security or a commodity, or what was going to happen with this company. So we moved into a brand new space where basically it's just kind of what levels of adoption are we going to see at any given time within this market. This made relatively popular news. It wasn't the most popular thing in the world, and I will tell you exactly why. And this is how I know things about the world and how people function. One of the largest discussions, yes, I know it's back again. The largest discussions this year has been about stablecoins. Previously, this looks like a unicorn. How funny. Previously, I would have said, who knows why, but we know why. It's just about money. If you've missed it, companies and institutions and world banks have all but announced that they are each going to be creating their own version of money. They all want their own stamp and name on each individual central bank digital currency that they're now naming stablecoins that they're going to be creating. And at the foundation of all of this basically has to do with making the creators of said coin richer, and also making the government that created them richer, not the people. That's a very clear distinction that we have to make, because there's usually a big amount of confusion that people don't seem to understand, that governments are usually only out for themselves. But that's a topic and discussion for maybe another video. So basically this year we are supposed to see a multitude of stable coins being released onto the market. Same exact thing with next year. Like, next year is not immune to it either. We're supposed to see hundreds of companies, hundreds of corporations, hundreds of banks basically releasing these things. You've seen the news, or it might sound familiar, because we've had a lot of it with Ethereum. Ethereum has been at the forefront. I mean, really, like leagues ahead of everyone else as to why all these companies and institutions have been buying large amounts of Ether. So when this news popped up, it was touted as, yeah, this is amazing, this is awesome. But I want to see if you can pick out exactly, really, if you can pick out exactly what people had a problem with when this news was actually announced. So we've seen before that we have had news that countries are going to create their own coins. And in instances, it's been like provinces and states And now we're getting down to like, more, the word's not fractured, but like, it's not just a main government doing this. We're now also talking about other instances of power. You'll see exactly what I'm alluding to. So basically, the state of Wyoming in the United States has announced that they've created their own stablecoin. Yeah. Wyoming's Frontier stablecoin has apparently debuted on 7 different networks. They are Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche. It says 7 networks and it only names 3. Okay, I guess those are the biggest ones. And for those of you questioning, why would they do that? Why would you put it on we live in the future, and one of the main core ideas with stable coins basically is if you can issue it in multiple different places, you would do so. If you just issue it on Ethereum, and let's say in 6.5 years, Ethereum has a hiccup, it breaks down, it's offline for 24 hours, no one knows why. We live in the future. All those coins are basically gone. So you issue it across multiple chains, similar to Tether, to make sure that just in case you don't have all your crypto in one basket. The token could offer a yield in the future while funding local education. It could theoretically be issued on more than 110 networks through layer 0. I don't know if you caught it. I don't know if you understood what the problem was there. I'm sure 1 or 2 of you were like, wait, I don't want that with my money. Yeah, okay. Wyoming stablecoin debuted across 7 blockchains, a new milestone for the Cowboy State, as it officially enters the $285 billion sector. Yes, that's just for stablecoins. Stablecoins are projected within 5 years, 5 to 10. Now, really, this isn't, a joke, a fake number, maybe in the future. No, it's projected to be like a $10 trillion industry by 2030 because of the amount of banks who are going to be creating them and issuing them and then putting them on top of different chains. Issued in partnership with Layer 0, the Frontier stablecoin will operate across Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. The blockchain infrastructure provider and Wyoming Stable Token Commission said in a joint statement. I don't know. This is a bit different than them adopting some kind of a reserve or a crypto, what have you. And I'm not really sure if many other states are going to go do this immediately. We are probably going to get many other states. I'd give it about 4 or 5 other states who would actually announce if they're going to do something like this, but I'm not anticipating this to sweep across the United States as quickly. Although the stablecoin sector has been dominated for years by Tether and Circle, Frontier, previously known as Wyoming Stable Token, represents the first state-backed token issued in the U.S. Wall Street firms. What? Is that English? Okay. Meanwhile, are mulling... in the U.S. Wall Street firms, meanwhile, are mulling their own... There should be a comma somewhere in that actual sentence. And then they talk about this and yada, yada, yada. Where's the bad part? Okay, here we go. So, like I said, a lot of people were talking about this coin, and then I couldn't figure out for the life of me why people had a problem with it. It says, like most stable coins, the Frontier coin will be backed by cash and U.S. treasuries. It seems to be the only way for a stable coin to really launch. It's basically a way to like back, and so they say, digitally strengthen the U.S. dollar by backing it by US dollars. So the more stable coins you create, the more cash you have, the more cash that's being held, the more sturdy the US dollar would then be. Same exact thing with US treasuries. I think the news was before that Tether alone has more US T-bills, treasury bills, than all of Germany. Just Tether alone. So this is the idea for stable coins, that it would be a proxy way to defend, extend, and strengthen the US dollar. It's not foolproof, but this is the current decision that people are making. So, instead, but it says instead of benefiting a business, interest generated, money generated by the Frontier Coins reserves will instead be diverted to Wyoming's School Foundation Fund on a quarterly basis, serving its citizens as a public good. Did you get it? Yeah. So every day I learn more about humanity, and the problem that a lot of people had with this coin is that instead of benefiting a multi-billion-dollar business that already has $1 billion+ under their chin, they're going to be using all money to actually help local schools in Wyoming. And there were people who had a problem with that. Yeah, it sounds like a joke. Nope, that's just how a lot of people within the cryptocurrency space are. A lot of people think that billionaires should have everything and that everyone else should kind of just fend for themselves. This is the truly, as far as I can remember, the first real altruistic anything that's happened within crypto in a while. And I mean a while being like a year. Remember last year, Vitalik Buterin, for those of you who weren't present, Vitalik Buterin, one of the co-creators of Ethereum, was selling off some of his ether, and people were getting really, really upset. They were like, why are you doing that? You can't do that. Just, assuming that the public, had control over Vitalik's funds. Every time that something intense happened around the world and people were affected negatively by said local event or something with weather, this man was literally selling his ether, and he was donating like $1.5 million at a time to these causes. And people had a problem with it because they were afraid that ETH's price would go down as he was helping people. Yeah. So yeah. No, this is wonderful. I wish we had, I wish every stablecoin project that launched in every state diverted any kind of money that they made from it, back into their infrastructure, back into the people who are learning how to be proper citizens. That'd be wonderful. So as far as I can tell from this, they're looking for ways to potentially initiate an actual yield as well from holding this coin. Same with Tether and the other coins. If you hold onto the stable coin, it'll get you 2.5%, 3%, 6% per year. That would be to have more investors being able to put more money, so that extra money could then flow to the actual schools. The fact that people have problems with helping other people is probably the reason why the world is in the current state that it's in. Cool. Good. We do not often have Wyoming news. I mean, not even a golf clap. I will give you a proper clap. This is how everything should actually be. The point of crypto is to help people. The point of Bitcoin is for everyone around the world to get away from the old system and have a new way to transact between ourselves, and not for it to be controlled by billionaires. That's not the point of crypto. So every other stablecoin project, every other one, is basically about greed in some form or fashion. So very good job, Wyoming, in creating possibly the coolest project that we've had in a while, and not spending $100 million on a banana that's taped on a wall. That's the Wyoming news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, and I didn't know that this was the actual number. I really thought that the number was a lot lower. These corporations and these companies who are deep diving headfirst into the cryptocurrency space, realistically, it's difficult to keep track of numbers. We've gone over that before. I've had instances where I'm like, yeah, this is 12. And someone's like, nope, it's actually 37. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we have had a what do you call it? A couple of companies who have announced that they were going to be accumulating Ethereum for whatever reason. We don't have to get into it. But I thought it was 5 or 6 companies. Apparently, I was way off. Way off. It says, as corporate interest in Ethereum, the largest altcoin, rises. Apparently, there's 69 companies. Like what? I don't remember ever saying almost 70 different names, but apparently here we are. 69 companies have accumulated over 4.1 million ETH in their treasuries. The total value of ETH held by these companies has reached approximately 17.6 billion US dollars. The data compiled from Strategic ETH Reserve includes companies with a balance exceeding 100 ETH. Currently, the ETH held by these companies represents about 3.39% of the circulating supply. And I would say it this way. I would assume then the companies that we've heard from are probably like the shiniest ones. If they're counting from companies who have over 100 ETH, it's kind of like when we get news often. This company just bought $1.7 million worth of Bitcoin. It doesn't make popular news because in essence that would be 15, 16, 17 Bitcoin, which is a lot. But monetarily, it pales in visual comparison to a company announcing we're purchasing $13 billion worth of Bitcoin. So I think the companies that we've maybe been hearing from are like the heavy hitters. That one company who announced that they have 1.1 million ETH, if you missed that one. Yeah, these companies are getting more and more intense as time goes on. There's this race going on because of the stablecoin stuff. They're trying to accumulate as much Ether, apparently in a race against the actual banks. Apparently the news is US banks and banks around the world who are planning on issuing or creating a stablecoin on top of a chain, Ethereum. They're buying up tons of said coin to basically back their money and strengthen the actual chain itself. I did not remember at all that it was 69 different companies, which is absolutely insane. Leading the list is the company called Bitmine Immersion Technologies, managing 1.5 million Ether. Yeah, that's one company. Valued at around $6.6 billion. Bitmine notably shifted from their Bitcoin mining company to accumulate Ethereum. In second place is SharpLink Gaming. Oh, yes, I'm remembering now. We had, I think, 2 or 3 Bitcoin mining companies who shifted to Ether. Okay. One of them was a gaming company, SharpLink Gaming. They hold 740,000 Ether, which is a huge amount of Ether. And I think there was 1 or 2 other companies whose name just didn't match what they are now doing, who are also accumulating large amounts of Ether as well. Yeah, this space is getting more and more interesting as time goes along. I think we're gonna. I'll give it to you realistically. All of this is going to lead to something. We don't know exactly what, but I think we're on the cusp of absolute madness when it comes to accumulation levels, how little crypto is left on exchanges. There was something about 2 weeks ago. There was like a dip in the market and I saw people panicking and I was like, you know that these dips are like activated, right? Like these dips are done by companies who know exactly how much to sell to be able to drive down the market to get retail investors to sell, to then scoop up these coins. It's all done on purpose. They don't want the public to have anything. And you might fold your arms and say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Blah, 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 blah. No. Think about real estate. Think about land. Think about air rights. Think about water and a multitude of other things. Rich people want all of it. We are witnessing the hyper consolidation of wealth. These people are accumulating these assets and they never, ever, 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 ever plan on spending them, getting rid of them, relinquishing them. Never forget, three companies own 88% of the US stock market. Google it. 3 companies, 88% stock market. Now imagine the top 10 companies. They're making sure that normal people have nothing in the future. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.